picking up on political issues, certainly the non-decision and lack of guidance in the final staff report was interpreted by some internationally as negative. I guess what's your sense on the impact to IFRS globally by the U.S., not taking any current action?
I guess a couple of thoughts I have on that one, Josh, is one of the things I would hate to see happen is for IFRS to, I'll call it almost implode or become where more jurisdictions say, well, geez, if the United States is not getting in, we're going to create our own version of IFRS. I think, as well, there's a lot of issues in terms of whether the U.S. should adopt it. I think we should never lose sight the fact that IFRS has been very, very beneficial for the market, and including the American market, because again, Americans buy trillions of dollars of companies that trade over in Europe. So it's very important to us. If you look at what it was, 12, 13 years ago or 10 years ago, and you have like 25, 26 different accounting standards throughout Europe, and Americans are investing in those companies, it has gone a long way to improve financial reporting and to have one consistent basis throughout Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. In a decade, you've gone from a Tower of Babel to really two relevant accounting frameworks globally, and two frameworks that have gotten closer together over that decade. Yeah.
So I think it's actually been a very good move. It is interesting. I think again, the Europeans expressed disappointment. I think though, if people were actually following this issue, they should not have been surprised. I think the staff, as well as the chairman, were certainly implying that they were. And Chairman Shapiro said she was not in any great urgency to address this issue.
I think maybe some of the surprise was not what was in it, because what was in it was pretty much expected, but the fact that there was no
recommendation,
or even a recommendation. I think some people realized that maybe there wouldn't even be a recommendation, but at least there would be some new roadmap, so to speak, of next steps as to how to get to that recommendation, whether it was going to be yes or no, but some idea of next steps. And I think that's what really drove the disappointment. There's a quote, I think, in our quarter close publication. The chairman of the ISB trustees said, I certainly acknowledge that the SEC has the right to make its decisions, but the fact that there was no indication of next steps was what really disappointed him. And I think that really was the surprising factor. And I agree with Wayne. I'm hoping it doesn't have a significant negative impact on IFRS. And frankly, I don't think it will. I mean, so many countries, territories are using IFRS. You would think that they're not going to necessarily backtrack. And there are still some major territories, Japan, India, for example, that are not on IFRS. And certainly they're taking an interested look at the pace and what's happening from a decision-making standpoint in the U.S. And that will be a factor in their decision-making. Will it slow their process down? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think the countries that are adopted IFRS, I would not expect that they would just go back to their home country standard. But I don't think that we'll see that. But I do think what we could see very easily is more jurisdictional variations of IFRS. And I think as time goes on, quite frankly, that is almost going to happen just because you don't have a global regulator, and you will never have a global regulator. So there is always going to be that element where countries in their own jurisdiction are going to issue interpretive guidance, either formally or informally, and this is going to continue to vary.